What's going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction. What a game it was. Palace 3, Bournemouth 3. Oh, wow. There's so much to talk about. As always, make sure to get involved throughout the show by dropping down your thoughts in the live comment section. And as always, you can call into the show. You can click on the pinned comment in the live comment section to join us live. It's already been posted, so everything's sorted there. As always, if you do enjoy the stream, hit the like button. Takes a second, but it helps us out massively. And subscribe if you are new to the channel. What a game! Before I bring on Animal, what a game of football. I don't even know how to feel about it, I'll be honest. First half was a shambles. It wasn't good enough from us. Bournemouth physically, mentally, were just better than us and deserved to be leading at halftime, and it was uncharacteristic. And then second half, I thought Eddie came on, made a difference, and the intensity increased from the team. Saying that, I mean, coming back from 2-0 down, it's amazing in that perspective. You know, the mentality from the boys in the second half was great, but there's just a part of me that's looking at the goals that we conceded saying this is not Palace. It was very uncharacteristic, some of the goals that we conceded, especially 3 goals. I'm not taking anything away from Bournemouth. So it's like, it's a relief for me. Credit to the boys for the second half, but for the first half, it just wasn't good enough. And we'll discuss that, as well as the referee. The referee was involved heavily. I thought Bournemouth should have had a red card. Maybe you lot saw it differently if it was at the game or was watching at home. Thankfully, we did get a penalty in the end. And yeah, there is a lot to discuss. I'll go through the comment section as well. But let's not waste any time. Let's bring on the first caller of the evening. Animal, 3-3. I don't know if you heard my thoughts on the game, but I just don't know exactly how to feel about that. There's like a relief and frustration mixed together from me anyways. But from you, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I can't take too many of those games in a season, to be honest with you. That had my heart going. But it was a game of 2 halves for us, wasn't it? We were poor in the first half. We weren't playing bad. I think Bournemouth were just better, and they were putting us under pressure, which we didn't like at all. It made it difficult for us to get out, so we were playing long balls. I think there was one time where we played some like a cut-in through ball on the floor to beat the press, and it worked. And we didn't try that too often. We were trying too many long balls. Also, like, you know, there's people have been saying in the comments, and I agree with it, that Sarr was coming in too narrow, I think, in the first half. And Pino was sort of playing off a little bit wide on the left. And I think Pino might have been suffering from the international break a little bit more than others because he has to get up to the speed of the Premier League. But he put a brilliant ball into Mateta that should have been scored. So, you know, he's got quality and he's a great player. But yeah, it was a difficult one to watch in the first half because we weren't bad, but we were outbeaten, we were outpressed especially.
So what was the difference in the second half?
I think the difference was when Eddie Nketiah came on, to be quite honest with you, because it changed the game for us in the way that Eddie kind of naturally plays more narrow, and it forced Sarr out onto the right-hand side a little bit more and to then link up with Munoz a bit better, which he did. And we got 2 resulting goals from Munoz assists, right?
Yeah, I do think so. I do think Eddie made a big difference. And it's good. It's good the fact that, I think ever since he's come back from his injury, he's had positive influence coming off the bench. And also Mateta, I thought in the first half he had that good, decent chance. And it was like, what's going on with him so far this season? And saying that, I mean, today he could have scored 5 or 6 goals, but he still ended up with a hat-trick. I mean, the chance in the very end, imagine if he scored that would have been unreal. What do you make of JP's performance today?
The first half was very much what we've been seeing from JP, all the effort, but without the end product. But my God, did he flip that around in the second half? You know, and hindsight is a wonderful thing, and there were a lot of people, I think, sort of frustrated with Mateta from the first half, and I don't blame them for it. But yeah, he's worthy of man of the match with that, taking home that ball. You know.
Yeah, I'm looking at the midfield today. I'll be honest, Adam Wharton's had better performances than that. At times, I just feel like he was just trying a bit too much. And it just didn't quite work out. But saying that, we weren't great defensively. I think there was, especially for the third goal that we conceded, happened right in front of me. I think that was a bit poor from Mitchell, but of course, this runners into the box that we could have tracked beforehand. There was a lot of individual mistakes which you don't see from Palace. We just cannot be having those mistakes against Arsenal because, you know, the scoreline would be massively different. But it's good that despite the mistakes, despite being 2-0 down at home, the players didn't give up. And I guess that's the positive outlook looking ahead to the next game. Scored 3 goals, cut away some of the basic errors that we would normally not make. It gives us a good chance against a side that's actually playing very well so far in the league.
Absolutely, Bournemouth are a great team, right? And we should take a lot of positives from the grit and determination that our players have shown to try and get back. And you're right, the first half, I think Munoz and Richards might as well have not been on the pitch for how much they were letting Semenyo get at them. They sorted that out in the second half, but I do think that the third goal, Richards was caught. He caught himself out. He came towards the ball, lost his man that was running, and so he lost probably about a yard or two on his man, and that meant that was it Doak? I think it was Doak got into the position to cut the ball across, and not the best defensive performance from us, and we expect quite high standards from these three because the entire defensive line because they've been amazing for so long.
Yeah, and looking at the referee's performance today, do you think it was a right call with the red card decision that he decided? Well, he gave a yellow card. The VAR said it could be a red card, and he stood on his decision. I guess it's good that a referee standing on his decision rather than listen to VAR. But from my perspective, I don't know. It was on the other side of the pitch, but it did seem like with Sar's pace, knowing what he can do, it did seem like a goal scoring opportunity. But what about you watching it from home?
My initial response, because I was incredibly reactive today, was that it was a red card, and it was that was what it was. But I understand why he's kept it at yellow, because Sarr was moving away from goal very slightly, but he was moving away. Now we know Sarr, and we know his pace. We know that he's going to get that, invert the diagonal and come towards goal. But the referee's right in saying that there was a defender left available for cover if that was to be the case. So I get it. I get it. I understand it. I'm not, at the time I wouldn't have been happy about it. I would have wanted to see a red card, but in hindsight, looking back on it, I think you can't say that isn't a clear and obvious error.
We've got Larnaca next. I know it's still a bit too early, but would you make any changes from today to Larnaca, considering what happened last time about with Everton and the Dynamo Kiev game? The positive is that at least we're playing at home and we're not traveling to Poland for that game. But I mean, the Everton game, we kind of saw tired legs, even though Glasgow didn't admit it, but it was just a collapse towards the end.
I would like to see, obviously Sosa isn't going to be playing, so Mitchell will be playing. But I would like to see Hughes come in, maybe give Kamada a bit of a break. Wharton's had a bit more of a rest because he's not been involved in the international setup, but Kamada has been. I think Pino was as well, and I think Pino will need a bit of time to sort of recover a little bit better. Richards also played both the games in the international football, and that's maybe an explanation as to why things weren't really clicking for him today. But yeah, I think there will be changes to be seen. I think Hughes might come in, and maybe Nketiah starts up front. Who knows?
Well, let's see. He's been doing well off the bench, but let's see if Glazer gives them an opportunity starting up front. But Animal, always a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, we catch up with you after that. And get back to winning ways. Take care.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Cheers. Came on right before. I always do that. Up the palace. That's what he said. Came on right before that. But if you're enjoying the stream, if you haven't already done so, please hit the like button, and you can join us live as well by clicking on the pinned comment. Let's bring on the next guest of the evening now. Jamal, 3-3. I'll be honest, games like that, it's not good for my heart, man. It's not good for my heart. What do you make of it watching it from home?
I enjoyed the game. It was a lovely game of football. I think we all knew that Bournemouth was going to be a hard game, and it came up to be. It was a lovely game of football. That's probably the best game I have watched for the season.
Yeah. I think it is one of the best games of the season so far. But what was the difference then for you between the first half, second half? I thought defensively we weren't great in the first half, but you have to give credit where credit's due, and I thought Bournemouth did actually play well.
Bournemouth did play well, and you can see why they're in the position that they are. Defensively, we weren't well. We were all over the shop. It was not an individual player that wasn't good. It was the whole team. If you look at second goal, it was Guy that made the mistake by letting the ball go right into that strikers. And then the defensive error, we didn't, for the first goal, we didn't, I think it was Mateta or someone didn't get the first header. So it was holistic, and Richards was out of position for the third goal. So holistically, it was everyone in. It don't make the sense pointing fingers, but It was a lovely game of football, and it was fun to watch Mateta miss all those chances after all his banter with Zaha. It was funny.
Yeah, yeah. But then he ended up scoring a hat trick. I
He
thought he should have
did,
had 5 or 6
did,
today and
but he should have
potentially won
scored
the game
six.
towards the
I
end.
think we all know he should have scored six. Be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
he
It
should have
was
scored.
a weird game. It was a weird game from JP. He had that one chance in the first half,
Mm-hmm.
which then it was like, what's going on now? Because it was similar to Everton. And then in the second half, he goes and scores a hat trick. But then
Yeah,
towards the end of
no,
the game, when we can win it, big moment, it didn't happen. Do you think there is a lot of eyes on him as of recently? Because a lot of people have been speaking
of
about him, and
course,
even you said it today.
of course. There's a lot of eyes on him. He's a top class striker, so
Mm,
there will be a lot of eyes on him. But and on your earlier question you asked about what was the difference in the first half and the second half is that I'm not sure if you noticed, but it seems like if Gazna went to 4-4-2 in the second half, right? I'm not sure if you noticed it, but from how I was watching it, it seemed like if so Mitchell dropped a little back to left back position, and then Richards went to right back, and then Munoz went up the field. So as you can see, the two assists that he got, he was really up there, right?
mm.
And then it was just Water and Kamada in middle, and then Pino before he came off, he went over to the left. So because of I think that Ariola, which is the Bournemouth coach, I'm not sure if that's his name, but
Yeah.
it seemed like he mastered how Gazna played. So he over the international break, he cooked up a plan and it worked in the first half. So Glasner, like, he realized that might the 3-5-2 is not working, so let me just change the formation. And in the second half, it was all Palace. I don't think anyone else could have seen nothing but Palace win. For the first goal, the second goal, and then we had like 3 or 4 missed offside goals in between there. Then they sucker punch us, and then we got back the goal from a penalty, right? Which I thought it was a penalty because the amount of pressure they were under, it was a little bit too much for them to handle, right?
Yeah, we could have won that game. We could have won that game. But of course, you have to put into perspective as well. You know, we were 2-0 down, and um, yeah, we had chances. We had chances. But play like that against Larnaca, which I think will be a different test because I don't expect them to be as good as Bournemouth. But let's say against Arsenal, you know, if you cut out the defensive mistakes, it's not an awful game, you know, to come off to go into Arsenal. There are still a lot of positives from this game.
Hey, the next game we have on Thursday, as you rightly discussed, I'm not sure if our team is built to play Saturday, Thursday, Sunday. I'm not sure if our team is designed to be like that.
Mm,
We knew that we were going into it, but I think you noticed in the last 12 months, once we play one game a week, how good we are, right? But I guess we can go away and see. Yes, you don't go to travel, but you still need to prepare, right? You still need to prepare for a team that you play on Thursday. So that means you only got like 2 days to prepare for Arsenal. So I mean, it's new. There's something you guys gotta get accustomed to, right? So I mean, hard or soft, I think this Palace team has got to a maturity now that even I know you felt it. You were down to about halftime. You knew that we would have put on a performance in second half. You just knew it because that is the maturity of the team that we have now.
yeah, look, I was expecting a reaction. And I guess, you know, is when you look at it that way and look at the second half compared to the first half, bit of a disappointment. The fact that, you know, we can up our game as we saw in the second half. I don't know why we started the game that slowly. I don't think it was complacency because there's
Yeah,
no
I think
way
it
I'm
was,
that deluded to think that Bournemouth were going to be easy. They're one of the most
yeah,
important
there
teams right
weren't, there
now.
weren't, there weren't, he, we normally don't really speak about the opponents that much, but Bournemouth is a really, really good team. They don't have that
Best
many
team we faced so
stars.
far, you reckon?
Hmm?
Best team we faced so far? I think they were better than Liverpool.
Yeah, by far, by
Yeah.
far. Listen, that team. You don't forget we have not conceded a goal in the first half for the whole season,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
We and this is the first time we went behind 2 this season.
Mm,
So to score on Crystal Palace first and be doing down to love, right? The guys showed the maturity, and I keep using that word maturity because you remember how Palace was 2 seasons ago last season. We have matured to the fact we know what our what our abilities are. We know what we're good at. We know when to push and when not. So down to love, I expected nothing. And at home, to be safe, I wasn't expecting other than a draw or win. Right? I am not vexed at that miss that Mateta had at the last minute. And this is why. We cannot expect him to score all the chances. Sometimes he scores the hard ones, and sometimes he misses the easy ones. But at least we are creating chances. I can remember times when we had to rely on Zaha, because you know there's a talking point, to do magic for us to draw a game or to win a game. No, we are complaining about Forrest missing chances. I mean, that's a dream come true because
Yeah, yeah,
it's difficult for us to create. No,
exactly.
we even in Liverpool game. Remember the Liverpool game? We missed more chances in the Liverpool game than in this game.
Yeah. Saying that today we had 4xG. I mean, that's crazy in terms of the key
Wow,
numbers.
that
Yeah, over 4xG, which is crazy. Yeah, it was just weird game. I think of course there was one more in us. As we said, we created enough to win that game, but the fact that we came back from 2-0 down is impressive in itself.
it was.
But let's see. At least we didn't come off the Everton game with another defeat. It would have been a bit disappointing if we lost, let's say
Yeah,
2-0.
It would be. I was sad at halftime. I was like, but then I asked myself, if you lose to Bournemouth, would that be the end of the world? No, it wouldn't. If Bournemouth won today, they will be top of the league. You just do not get on top of the Premier League like that. They have a smaller budget than us too as well. In terms of wages, they pay these guys a lot less than they pay Crystal Palace guys. So I mean, when you really look at it on face value, a draw is the best result.
Yeah, it is. Look, Jamal, always pleasure talking to you, bro. Hopefully, catch up with you again soon.
All right, same to you at the Palace.
Up the Palace. Take care. That was Jamal having to say. If you do want to call into the show live, you can do so by going to the live comment section, and at the top there should be a pinned link where you can click it to join us as well this evening. Some great comments coming in. As I've said, there's the perspective is that the positive that we came back from 2-0 down, but yeah, it was a crazy game. We're on 54 likes. Let's see if we can hit 100 next. That's the next objective. Thank to each and every single one of you that's done that so far. Let's bring on Nosa. 3-3. What a game. Let's be honest. Well, I don't know about you, but I was expecting like a 1-0 or maybe at most 2-1. I mean, whenever we face Bournemouth, there hasn't been no 3-3s. There's always been like a tight encounter. Both teams kind of cancel each other out based on the tactics. But today, I don't know what was in the air, but both teams went for it and it was crazy. But what was your thoughts on it?
I thought it was a good game. I thought we started slow, like the other guy said. I don't know what if it was the international break, but we do have a lot of international players now. I think it's the most we've ever had in recent times, if I'm correct. So it was a bit slow. It was a bit, I don't know, like I felt like there was a bit of fatigue, and even Gahey making mistakes, Richard making mistakes, Mateta missing chances. It just showcases that, okay, like, I don't know who said it, but one of the guys said, we may not be like designed for this much football so fast and thick because, we're still a new team within this dynamic. So I think that's got a part to play to it. When you play football at the top level, these fine margins are important, so, and it's a new experience where everyone's learning from it, especially like the club, even as fans, like we're just exposed to these type of things. So I don't want to be too overly critical to the players because we know the quality, and the quality was showcased today. So overall, I'm happy with the point because we didn't play the best defensively in the first half, and we didn't take our chances.
Yeah, we didn't. Was it just individual mistakes, or do you think tactically Bournemouth done something which hurt us?
I feel like they pressed really well. Like in the first 20 minutes, like you could see Lacroix was just a couple, like two or three times. He just booted the ball, and that's not in his nature, like because he's quite composed on the ball within that back line. So he always distributes a pass out to the left or the right wing or right fullback or left fullback. So I wouldn't necessarily say none of them was like necessarily the trigger. They just really just wanted to pressure the back line, like the back three. so they won't be able to play at the back. Because I don't know, from watching a lot of the matches this season, a lot of teams don't really press our centre backs like that quickly, I would say. So I was a bit surprised as they was doing it so quickly within the first like 5 minutes. They were just on it. So it really just allowed us to not play. We was limited in terms of just playing at the back and just really just pushing, just allowing us to play on the wing as well. And we lost individual battles like Richards in the first half. I think he lost a couple battles to Semenyo. I'm not too critical of Richards in that aspect because I know that's not his strength. I know that's not his strength. 1v1 defending, he's not like, that's not his optimal strength. And Semenyo, bias aside, he's probably one of the best like wide players in the league.
Right now, exactly, he is. That's what I was about to say. It's not like an easy task for Richards.
It's not like your typical Prem winger. That's just that Richards, when 9 times out of 10 he'll lock up. But Semenyo, I like Semenyo. He's a good footballer, and he's a player that would suit Palace very well. You know, and Glasner said.
Oh so, yeah, unreal.
I'm not too critical of the defenders. You know, Gehi's mistake was that was a bit confusing though, because Gehi doesn't make mistakes like that. Am I wrong or?
No, I mean he doesn't. He's meant to be one of the most composed players in the whole league. Forget about Palace.
Exactly.
But I think you made a very good point about Bournemouth's press. I think teams have pressed us this season. Even Everton tried at some points, but it was just a case of the press wasn't as effective. However, I think Bournemouth is the best press that we've faced so far this season, and they are known for pressing high up the pitch. In a way, they are kind of similar to us. In terms of their approach, they can be a bit direct at times as well. And you saw it a few times in the transition. They did cause us problems. Well, thankfully, we did get back. And then there were times where we didn't get back as quickly enough. And that's why we got punished. So yeah, I think a credit goes to Bournemouth. But in the second half, completely different. Well, I mean, defensively, it was better than it was in the first half. Saying that the third goal, I think we could have defended better. However, going forward, we create chances, we scored goals, and I think we could have even scored more than 3. What was it?
Yeah, 100%. We could have scored probably like 5 or 6 goals in that second half. And of course, I like Nketiah, but he always gets the complimentary offside goal, innit?
Yeah. When he scored that goal and they put a flag up, I
knew he was offside before he
offside.
Everyone knew he was offside. He always gets that complimentary offside like opening. Like he gets an opening. He gets like a half chance. He's offside, but he played good. When he came on, he played good, and it's just a testament of his hard work. And I've always rated Nketiah, even when he was at Arsenal. I don't think he's like an outstanding player, but he's a good, effective player when in the right system. And of course, today he showed that. I think Pino coming off. I think someone raised the point saying that because he was kept on coming inside. It was just pushing Sarr out to the wide, and it wasn't allowing them to play fluidly. And I agree with them. But because Nketiah, he's just goal hungry. He wants to get a goal. That just allowed him to just to be more effective in the areas. The centre backs were more wary about plays in the box and stuff like that. And he's always going to sniff a half chance. So he's much more physically imposing. So overall, I thought the substitutes were good. I think I was only one substitute actually.
Yeah, it's only Nketiah. Do you think that's a case of looking ahead maybe to Thursday, as some of these players that want a bench could feature a bit more?
To be honest with you, right now, if we're being honest, apart from like Hughesy,
he would have came on.
Who's actually going to come on apart from Hughes and Nketiah? Who's actually of quality that has had a good run of form apart from Hughes and Nketiah?
To be fair, I mean, when you look at it, we're 2-0 down. I think we scored the second goal. What was it? 65th minute around that time. So yeah, I didn't really expect that many subs.
Did you ever think that? I don't know. I had a feeling that we wasn't going to lose this game, even if when they scored 3-2. I just felt like we were going to have an opportunity.
It would have been annoying if we did end up losing 3-2, because I thought we deserved to win that game, and that's why there's a bit of frustration still because of the standards that are set. And it'll be interesting to hear what Glasner thinks. I think Glasner would be happy with the response, but defensively, it was just, you look at his reaction after we conceded the third goal as well. Just come on, like it's poor. It's not our standards.
Like, Richards, he came out at his line, and then he was coming like he doesn't do that. So that's why I wasn't too critical of like the players, because Riches wouldn't do that. Like, that's just such a immature way of defending. Just coming off your line when you've got the back line and they're on the transition. I just think, like, why'd you do that? But it is what it is. Like, at least Mateta got the penalty in the end and he scored. But do you think these missed chances that Mateta keeps on missing, the big ones as well? Because I thought the Pino cross, the header he had, a player of Mateta's quality should score that. Do you think they're going to bounce back somewhere in the season?
Well, I think it already has against Everton.
Sorry,
against Everton. I mean, against Everton, if he takes a few of them chances, I don't think we lose that game. The game could be buried and done. So yeah, I think it's already cost us. But saying that, he scored a hat-trick today. It's the weirdest thought because I said, like, he could have scored more. He could have scored more than 3. And it's not even a case of like every striker. It's not like every opportunity that you get, you're going to score. But it's some of the opportunities that he did have, he should have scored. Like, it was not like a 50-50. He should have scored. And that's the confusing thing about him. I think this season, so far this season, he should have way more goals than he already has.
He should be on double figures.
He will have scored goals. It's not like he's been absolutely terrible.
Yeah, he should be on double figures in all competitions.
So what was that?
Is he on double figures already? Like, but I think he should be on double figures if he didn't miss those shots.
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Double figures. I don't think he's on double figures, is he?
No, I said he should be on double figures at least.
I can double check. Oh yeah, well, he's got 5 goals in 8 games, which ain't bad. Of course, he scored 3 of them today. I'm pretty sure that's updated. So yeah, he should be and he can be, but I guess he hasn't been as clinical as maybe the previous season. But 5 goals is still 5 goals in 8 games. That's still very good. But yeah, when you take away the stats and just look at that with your eye test, yeah, definitely you could do more. But not only him, I thought Walton today, he wasn't on it. He wasn't on it. I just felt like the passes just weren't clicking as well. Saying that, like, there was a few times he actually beat the press and he had some very good moments. But then there were some passes, like, I was just thinking, are you just overdoing it there? Like,
it felt like he was spamming passes, right? At one point.
Yeah, but especially in the first half, there were times when they were pressing him and he was beating the press easily. But then you'll beat the press, then the pass would be just too much. So I don't think Walton had his game, best of games by his standards as well. But this is what we're saying. We're talking about players not being on the top level, and we still scored 3 goals.
Exactly.
Against Arsenal, if we can go back to normal defensive ways, we create chances as well. That's the biggest thing.
Exactly.
We'd rather create chances and miss them, then eventually, down the line, those chances will go in. They're not great chances. So it's not like we're in a bad place. We're in a very good place. And coming off that Everton defeat is like a reset. It's good that, imagine we lost again today after Everton and in the manner that we did. Let's say if the first half continued to the second half, that would have been very disappointing. Because that performance wasn't good enough. And Bournemouth, I thought, were just outclassed us, both physically and also technically on the pitch, to be fair. So the fact that we had to come back, we're back to square one. Positive. Now we got the next game against Larnaca. How are you feeling about that?
I'm positive. I think you can make a couple changes, not wholesale of changes, but I don't see why we can't start someone like Convoy, however you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
And yeah, just starting Ketia. I think just like 1 or 2 changes. Not necessarily starting Ketia over Mateta. You probably start him on the left side, replace some Pino, or just like play Husey. Like just 2 or 3 changes. No major changes. I feel positive about it because I've never heard this team. Like when you never heard of teams, you just naturally gonna feel more positive, right? So
they won the first game. I think they beat Alkmaar, was it, Larnaca? They beat Alkmaar like 4-0 or 4-1 or something crazy like that. Yeah. But I think Alkmaar had a red card early on in that game.
Is it Alkmaar from the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite a good result then, yeah. Because they're
It was kind of surprising because I remember they played, of course, on the same day as we did. I think did they play at the same time? Yeah, it was 4-0 against Alkmaar. So not a bad result. I mean, we can't take the game lightly. By saying that, I think we still got enough quality, even if you do make rotations, to give them a good game. But what's your thoughts on Nketiah playing alongside Mateta? When he first joined the club, Glasgow tried it. It didn't quite work out. And few games so far this season, it's not a case of Nketiah comes on and Mateta comes off. They can, at times play together as well. And I feel like he's grown into that role because he's just not overcomplicating it.
Yeah, like we both mentioned, Nketiah, he's goal hungry. He wants to get a goal, and of course, he's got the quality of just like having good link up play and just he's got clean feet. So, I've always rated Nketiah. So integrating him in the team allows the front line to be more physically imposing. I don't know if he's as tall as Sarr, but he's quite he's much taller than Peanut. So having those like physically imposing players it's always effective. It's always effective, and because he links up well with Mateta, I don't see a reason why not. I don't see a reason why not. I like how he plays. He's positive when he comes on, and he's direct. You know, he doesn't fuff about or does no trickery because that's not his game. So
Yeah.
I think him linking up with Mateta and just them imposing himself up top. You know, I know he's not a direct wing or like creative player, but it's something different. You know, we've only got like two like proper goal hungry players, which are Nketiah and Mateta. So
How about Sarr?
I don't think Sarr's goal. He scores goals, but I don't think like that's his objective. That's just my viewpoint, though. I don't think he's like directly goal hungry. He scored a couple goals for Senegal during the World Cup qualifiers, but I just don't think he's like that goal hungry type player. Maybe he's changed given the fact that he's working under Glasner now, but I don't see him as that. So I still think Nketiah, he still hasn't had that bright spark, that that resurgence, the catalyst of goals need to come the same way when Glasner came in and Mateta, he started scoring goals. We're yet to see that and Nketiah, and when it comes, I believe like it's gonna change his story at Palace completely.
Yeah. I think he's slowly getting there. Do you think it should have been a red card? That foul on
Yeah,
Sarr?
do you know? I'm pretty sure you played football. You played Sunday League at one point. Sunday League, they're given that. They're being too woke, in my opinion. They're being too woke with that tackle. Like, they're just being too woke. Oh, he's going to the. Bro, we have to look at every decision with discretion, right? And I feel like, if you're playing Sunday League, League One, even Championship, they're gonna give that as a red. They're gonna give that
I
as a
thought
red.
Sarr was through. What I was thinking is, yeah, there might be a defender alongside him, but with Sarr's pace, I think that's a
Exactly.
denial of more scoring opportunity. I thought it should have been a red card.
You have to
I
look at
haven't
it
watched
with
it back.
discretion. You have to look at it with discretion. Sar's quick enough to, like, Diakite is never going to catch him up. Never going to catch him up ever.
Yeah,
ever.
that's what I was thinking as well.
Like, I was thinking about you remember in the semi-finals when Sar got the ball from Nketiah. He went past Conte like he wasn't there. Like, he's gone. Like, so it was annoying, but I see why they gave it, but I just feel like they're just being a bit too woke with all that nonsense. So he's kicked it away from and Mateta was right next to him. He could have probably just passed it. It is what it is, man. The draw's there, so I'm not too stressed.
Yeah. Let's see. But I appreciate talking to you, bro. Hopefully catch up with you after Larnaca.
Yeah, likewise. Have a nice weekend.
Take care, you too, bro. That was Nosa having to say. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like button if you are enjoying the show, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you do want to call in, just like Nosa and everyone else that has done so far, you can go to the live comment section and click on the link to join us live. Let's bring on Bollocks. I'll be honest, the defending was. So, I mean, if we're starting with your name, the defending was. But in the second half, the attack wasn't. But what was your judgment of the game?
No, I was a bit more. I'm watching it. I was watching on a stream. I wasn't at the game, so you can be a bit more analytical and look at replays and whatever else. So hopefully a bit less extreme than I was after the Everton game when I was pissed off big time. But I think I agree with a lot of what people have said. I think Wharton quite a lot of the time does overcook these passes, but he does also influence the game quite well. He's a calm head in there like Kamada. And maybe talk about Larnaca game, we need to look more at playing the players that didn't go internationally. I mean, David didn't play today, so maybe he comes in at wing back if Sosa's injured, or maybe again Mitchell not playing internationally might benefit us. But you could probably put in Lerma in there, should have recovered by now after another week off, and might see Hughes play. But otherwise, I think I keep it very similar. I mean, what other points were there? So no, I didn't see the penalty decision or after basically Bournemouth took the lead for this next time. So it was 3-2. I didn't see anything after that. But I do remember when Bournemouth were coming down that flank, just thinking Sarr needs to just put a bit of pressure on the bloke attacking and didn't track back, which I understand because Sarr's worked very hard. I know that there's systems where Glasner doesn't really want you to be going too far back down the wing if you were one of those 10s. But it just felt like if you put a little bit more pressure on that, I think it was a fullback for them who's pacing forward, could have maybe just put him off or whatever else. But yeah, the defending was shocking. As you say, we doubled their XG, so you'd think we'd win the game. And yeah, Mateta's frustrating a couple of WhatsApp groups saying it's the most annoying or the worst hat trick they've seen in a long time, because it could have been more, and he could have made it 4-3. I've seen a photo of that chance, but not the actual chance in video footage yet.
Yeah, he could have scored more goals, but of course he did score the hat trick. But then again, when you look at the second half, I thought overall as a team, it was the positive reaction. That's the most encouraging thing. You know, we didn't let go, especially after losing against Everton in the last game. Heads could have dropped. Oh, we lost against Everton, 2-0 down now at home. But it was the opposite. I wonder what Glasgow said at halftime. Maybe we find out as time goes on. But it worked. It worked. And not only just the mentality, I thought the sub worked. And kids coming on the pitch definitely helped us.
Yeah, it worked. Either way, it's where we said at half time, and it needed to. And you always know in those first 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, if you can scare the other team knowing that you might come back, then it's always in your favour. But yeah, Bournemouth did a great job in the first half. I know their goal was from basically one set piece, or was it just a cross? I can't remember. But an early goal from we wouldn't normally let in, and then another counter attack. So we're looking a bit slack in defence of late, but it was a good away number that we're doing there. And you're thinking, I can see why Bournemouth are so far at the table. I can see why Semenyo's so valued. I think he got an early yellow too, and he thought, okay, that might benefit us. But it didn't come through in that regard. But I see why they're so hard to the league, and also how much effort it took to get back into that game. Because as Evans was saying, we were getting pressed out of it, really struggling to get control, really struggling to play our football. Bournemouth were doing incredibly well. Whether they thought 2-0 was enough and luck was on their side that day, I don't know. But it was some half of that second half, the way that we came in and the amount of chances we created against a very decent Bournemouth team and a good defence. What I will say, maybe controversially, is that Sarr chance where it could have been a red. Trying to be level-headed, it wasn't totally clear that he was clipped. I think he might have been, but when he's trying to pull away, I think maybe he got on the top of his heel. I do agree that if he'd got through though, then it's Mateta is possible. I think it's Mateta up there with him. Should probably get a tap in after he squares it. It was 2-1. And although it was annoying, it was against us. I do appreciate the fact the ref went over when that's not clear and obvious, and I'm not going to change my mind. I'm pretty sure I've seen that 2 times at least at Selhurst Park against us already. And I don't know how many other clubs have had one at all. I don't know how often the ref goes to the monitor and sticks with their decision, but it feels like that's the 3rd time I think it's happened to us.
I feel like he's the same referee. I feel like he's a referee today that has done that before. I think Jared.
Yeah, maybe. He's an Aussie, isn't he?
Yeah. I had a feeling here as time was ticking on and he was at the monitor for ages. I was thinking, just have a feeling he's going to do something different. I just have a feeling.
But equally, had that been a red, I don't think he would get sent to the monitor. It's enough to look like he's taken him out. I think Sensini's quite lucky. The key player for them. It's a shame he didn't walk actually, because he would have been a big loss for them, and then he really would have fancied us to get back into that. I also, before I get to say it, I should also say hello to Alfie. He said hello to me, Lublin, as a result of being on here. So I don't know what his name is on there, but he came on and said hello. So now I feel like Larnaca could be a real test. I wasn't expecting it when I saw the draw, but it could be a tricky one.
Tricky in terms of are you looking at the past result against Alkmaar and what they've done, or are you looking at today and how we played, maybe especially defensively? Are you a bit concerned about that?
That's both are good points. But do you forget Glasner has won this thing? He'll know what to do. He'll know how to approach his European games, and it's all new to us, as everything from chairman and fans, whatever else. But there's a few bits of Europa experience in there, international experience galore, and Glasner knows exactly what he's doing. I suppose the coaches he's got are the same ones he had at Frankfurt and that. So hopefully we'll set up nicely and play a lot more like we did in the second half than the first half against them.
Yeah. When you talk about setting up nicely, does that include maybe a few rotations based on what we saw against Everton. Of course, we got Arsenal at home. The positive is that we're not traveling. We're playing at home. Both will be staying in London, so I don't know if that plays a part. But would you like to see maybe a few rotations, or do you go
Yeah,
with the same
I don't
team
know.
yesterday and maybe
Are
one?
Arsenal playing the Champions League midweek or anything?
There
I don't know.
should be. They should be. I
I
know
don't know
they're
where the
playing
hell
right
they're going
now. I
to.
think 4-0 against Fulham. Yeah, at half
Any idea
time.
was it? Any idea how Forest got on today?
Yeah, look, they're gonna have more managers this season than wins at this rate.
Well, if you change your manager twice, it's normally curtains, isn't it? I think actually Fred did it a
Yeah,
couple of years ago.
Mancini apparently is going, which I don't know what's
Wow.
going there. Like they go proper throwback with Mancini. I don't even know what to expect with them. But yeah, Arsenal have got Atletico Madrid, but they're playing at home on Tuesday.
Ah,
So
okay, so not going anywhere, but they'll have lumps kicked out of them by Simeone's mob. So
yeah,
exactly. No, yeah, I feel like that Arsenal game is really interesting now to see if we can still cut it with the top lot in this league, and also, yeah, as you say, we'd be at home. It shouldn't be too exhausting. But you said they're playing on Tuesday or Wednesday. Arsenal.
Tuesday
Oh,
at
shit,
home.
that's
So
not
they're
good.
never
Yeah,
traveling.
good.
Yeah, so they got enough time.
Yeah.
That's the family privilege. They will be able to recover.
Yeah, I will. But no, I'm looking forward to it. It'd be great to have a European game at home at Palace, and yeah, it's, having watched Strasbourg A beat Olympiacos B, it's just good to see there's no MCOs in Europe at the moment. So
Yeah,
but
we have to take that game seriously. Take that game seriously. Hopefully, get 6 points. Well, not 6 points. Hopefully, be on 6 points. And then, I'm actually looking forward to the Arsenal game. I know it's a bit early to talk about it straight after this one, but I am looking forward to it. If we can cut out the defensive madness, let's see. We gave them a decent game last year. Of course, Eze is going to be with them. We don't have him, but yeah, we've been solid, and I think I don't know if you agree or not, but I think Bournemouth are the best side that we've faced so far this season.
I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so.
So the fact that we come back 2-0 down against them, not bad.
Yeah, it's not a surprise, but I mean, it's in quite some achievement for them, given that they sold so much talent. Even that bloke to Brentford, it's crazy they sold so many players and they're still so effective. And no, I kind of wished them well. Like I was trying to be a lot more objective than I was at Everton, and I do remember thinking, whatever the result of this game is, it's been a blast and fair play to whoever goes on to win it. And of course, we drew it, but you can't. Whereas Everton were pretty naff almost the whole game. Bournemouth would have deserved at least a draw, and maybe another day they would have nicked the win too. If they'd have, like someone said, if they could have held on and not given a stupid penalty away, that would have been some result for them, put them top. And as you say, we have a very different chat now after the Everton thing. But I think we basically put a few more players out that weren't an international break against Larnaca, but maybe only 3 changes. Shame Sosa suspended, really.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Mitchell will have to start that game. He will play Sunday, but it is what it is. Mitchell's had enough rest so far this season anyway. So I think we should be fine there. But yeah, Strasbourg did draw with PSG today 3-3, which was interesting. But it's always going to be a difficult game against them anyways. They play some exciting football, and maybe their football actually suits Palace in terms of some spacing behind, because they're not going to be sitting back against us, which a lot of teams I expect to do in a Conference League. But yeah, today, I'll be honest, I don't know what you was predicting. I was saying maybe 1-0 Palace. It'll be a tight game because I can't remember last time there's been 6 goals between Palace and Bournemouth, as it's always been. But the managers decided no, today is going to be the opposite. Like, we're just going to go for it. Both teams are going to go for it. Enjoyable for the neutrals. Bit frustrating at times as Palace, but got there in the end, got the point. Take it. As you said, what does it say there? 1 game unbeaten. Let the streak start again. Let the streak start again. I'll face Everton again.
It's refreshing to watch that sort of stuff and still be frustrated than what we had to endure for quite a few years under previous managers. Like, like we're not going to be last a match a day today. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I dare them to us last on match of the day. I dare them, because that'd be just absolutely ridiculous. What other games are there that was actually solid today? I think Wolves lost, which they always do. It feels like recently. Burnley beat Leeds. Brighton won 2-1. So yeah, City won 2-0. Oh yeah, unless Arsenal score like 15, 20 goals in 45 minutes in the next half, then yeah, expect us to be first. But Pleasure talking to you, Chris. Hopefully we can go back to winning ways against Larnaca on Thursday and continue that unbeaten run.
Okay, mate. Up the Palace.
Up the Palace. Take care. If you do want to call into the show, you can do so. I'm going to wrap it up in about a few minutes' time. So whoever calls in now will be first in line. I'll go through some comments. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button as well, people. Let's see a few comments before we do wrap up. Ed saying we're a good watch now. Yeah, especially in the second half, we were. We are a good watch. We didn't lose from being 2-0 down at halftime, so can't complain. Encouraged by the battling back. Exactly. And we could have even won that game against not a weak opposition, a very good opposition. And we saw it in first half of their quality. So there's a lot of positives to say from today. I think the frustration comes more of being a fan and just realizing that we could have still won that game. But if you're taking away your fan glasses and looking at the game from, you know, a sensible perspective rather than as a Palace fan, it is very encouraging. It's very good. There's a lot of positives from coming 2-0 down against Bournemouth to 2-2. But that's where the little frustration comes from me. But a lot of people, they probably are not frustrated. But I just feel like we could have won it. And the defensive performance, it was not good enough. We didn't help ourselves enough. But yeah, all in all, a great game of football. And you know what? We'll end it there. If you have enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below after the stream ends. We'll be back with the player ratings, hopefully dropping tomorrow or Monday. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And of course, previews coming out because we've got a Thursday to Sunday game. So a busy week coming up. That's it from us. Thanks to everyone that's called in, watching live or watching replay. Until next time, up the Palace.